I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Oops the Podcast. I'm Giulio Gallerati, joined as ever by Francis Ellis.
Hi.
As you would say.
Hey, yeah.
Dude, Francis rocking the Jackson Hole tee right now.
I got a sick Jackson Hole tee. Who gave us these?
Shout out to our boys at Diamond Cross Ranch.
Diamond Cross Ranch.
Our
Dude,
buddy Danny.
this shirt is cool, man. It is cool.
We are officially sponsored by Jackson Hole.
You guys know I don't normally just wear anything that people will send me because, no free ads. But this shirt is too cool for me not to wear.
It's very
Jackson
cool.
Hole?
Dude, it's hilarious.
Let me tell you something about Jackson Hole. I mean, that place is as authentic as it comes. No frauds there. I walk into Jackson Hole wearing this shirt and they'll say, saddle up, partner. They'll even hand me a horse for the day. They'll let me borrow one. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's great. I love it. Fucking, dude, Jackson Hole, we love it.
Yes. Thank you for the shirts, Diamond
Dude,
Cross Ranch.
so
Appreciate
funny.
you.
So dude, I have an interesting thing that just came up in my life. I'm going to hear what you have to think about this.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I lost a dear uncle.
Oh, no.
I know, it's a bummer.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. But I was left something in the will, which I've never actually inherited anything.
This is exciting.
It is a car.
What the fuck?
So it was his car, and it's a nice car.
What kind of car?
It's a Saab, but it's not like a one of those old duck ones. It's like a newer model of a Saab. The guy loved Saabs.
I had no idea what to expect. Saab was not what I was thinking.
So, dude, the car is, it's probably 10 years old, and it probably is getting upwards of 100,000 miles.
Great.
And I'm wondering, is it worth it for me to accept the car and have it? Or is it going to be too much of a headache, being that it's an older car? I'm going to have to pay for parking. I'm not willing to ASP it like you.
No.
Although maybe I could learn to love it.
You don't have a car, correct?
I do not have a car.
Do you have any need for a car?
Yeah. Not, I get around it. You know what I mean? If I want to go out to Long Island or if I want to go visit my parents in Connecticut, it would certainly be much more convenient to have a car. Now, granted, I can just take the train or the jitney or the wherever to both of those places.
Mm-hmm.
And, if there's like some road stuff, maybe it could be helpful. Because, as you know, it ends up making your life more convenient than you would have expected. Because in New York, you're like, you don't need a car. But then when you have one, you're like, oh, I need a car.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm sort of torn. And Hillary and I have been toying around with the idea of just getting a car. You know what I mean? Like getting a new car.
Right.
And
Right.
putting it in the garage, splitting it.
Well,
I don't
then
know.
just use this car.
I know, but dude, this is the thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about having issues with this car and then having to get it fixed. And now I'm like paying to fix cars. And like,
I hear you.
you know what I mean?
I hear you. Can you get it inspected? You'll have to get it inspected.
Yes, it would have to get inspected.
Okay,
registered.
so get it inspected and get a sense of what kind of shape it's in.
I imagine it's in decent shape, but yeah, I don't know. Like, you think it's worth it to like go through all that?
It's worth it if you're considering either doing that or buying a car.
So I think the book value of the car is like around $1,000. That just makes
That's it?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
that's not great.
I know. So I'm kind of like,
That's like a car that you see
It's
with
just
a
like an
for sale
older-
sign in a yard.
it's an older car, So it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm torn about it.
I don't know what to say. I mean, would you ever sell it?
So this was one of the other, and like, no, but also
Out of guilt?
No, not even. Like, one of the sort of criteria for me accepting this car is agreeing to not just sell it.
That was written into the will?
Apparently. I don't know if that's something my cousin just decided, but he presented it as if it were kind of like written into the will that way.
Why did your uncle give you the car? Did you used to ride around with him and say, boy, I really love this car?
I don't know, dude. And actually, you know what's funny? One of his older Saabs, he actually gave it to my other cousin, Emilio. So maybe his thing is just giving his nephews and nieces cars when he's done with them or something.
What did he give his actual kids? Like
His estate?
Toyota
I imagine?
Camrys?
No, I imagine he gave them like his actual estate.
Uh-huh.
Oh, like you mean when they were kids? I forget.
No,
what
I
cars they
mean,
were.
I mean, now did he give them
He left them
better
his
cars than the old Saab?
No, I think he only had the Saab. That was his car. That was his baby. And now whatever he left them is probably his like actual estate.
Well, it sounds like he had two Saabs
At what point they had two Saabs?
because he gave that other one to your other cousin.
No, but they had two for the family at one point, I think. And then, but now it was just him. He was on his own. He was single. He was a single guy.
I do like words that have two A's in a row. I think I've said that about aardvark. It's one of my favorite animals because it's just always at the beginning
That
of
is
every list of animal you could possibly imagine. Alphabetical list. Hard to beat anything that begins with AA, you know? Going right in the front.
So I don't know, dude. I guess we'll see.
Like a kid named Aaron lining up for a fire drill.
Good old Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron always got in the front. All right, so all right, well, dude, keep me posted about that. I don't really know how to advise you on the
it's a tough one.
Saab story.
That's pretty good.
The old Saab story.
Dude, I fucked up really bad the other day.
Okay.
In a way, like, dude, I've never done this in my life. I just said something that I didn't mean at all, that I didn't even mean to say, and it was really fucking offensive to my girlfriend.
Oh,
We were sitting there, like, kind of doing like cutesy talk,
mm-hmm.
you know, a little additional tone of sweetness, talking Sunday morning, whatever. And we're going back and forth saying sweet things to each other. And out of nowhere, dude, I don't know why I did this. I went, I don't like your name.
Oh my God.
And I went, oh my God, I don't know what I don't mean that. I love your name. Dude, I love her name. She has a lovely name. Hillary's a lovely name.
Why did you say that?
I don't know. I didn't mean it. And she was like really like sad. And she knew I didn't say it on purpose, but like she was still sad. And it was so sad that I did that to her. I couldn't believe it.
Is this, so do you think that's just a glitch in your wiring? Because I have a fear of that happening. I've
never done that before. I have no fucking idea what happened there.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
And I don't think this is quite like that, and I want to come back to your thing. Sometimes when my girlfriend and I are making love, I have this, my brain stumbles upon this horrific fear that all of a sudden I'm going to say, oh, yeah, and then someone else's name.
Oh my God, dude! I would like. There's no. Yeah, I've never been worried about that.
But I don't
maybe
have.
I should be.
I don't have a person's name in my head. I don't have.
totally.
I'm not thinking of someone else.
Totally.
I just think my world would end if that happened right now.
It would be terrible. You can't do that. You
It
can't
would
be doing
end.
that.
It would be so bad. It would
You
be
can't be doing
so
that.
horrific. And it's a little bit like, I think there was this Edgar Allan Poe poem, I think it was called The Imp of the Perverse,
Mhm.
which spoke to a psychological sort of phenomenon that I think is kind of become known as the perversity of the human spirit, which means that we often imagine the worst thing. Like if you're on
Yes.
the edge of a precipice,
I do it all the time.
you say like, if all it would take is my brain one crazy thought right now away from me just leaping off.
Dude, like, yeah, have you, or even if you're sitting with a group of really, really nice people who are being so good to you, you think of the worst thing you could say.
Yeah, right.
Do
Like
you do that?
Just like, oh my God, how, my life would end right now if I just screamed the N word,
Right.
which like I've never done in my life, and I've never had any urge to, but it's so easy to do that.
Right.
It's not as if you have to work to do that.
You could do it. It could be
To
done.
scream bomb in a movie theater, whatever it may be, just some catastrophe decision
Mhm.
that you couldn't explain and happened, and it would end your life.
Mhm.
So we muse on these things. We sort of ruminate on them. I do. My brain goes.
I've
to
done it my
that.
whole life, dude. I used to imagine, like, I'd be holding my teddy bear, which is my most precious item, and I'd be imagining myself throwing him out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's called intrusive thoughts. Is
Interesting.
what they're called.
I'm gonna go with perversity of the human spirit, Chris.
Okay, never mind.
No, but you're probably right too. But intrusive thoughts can refer to other things too, right? Just like negative thoughts in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking
I
about
think so.
rational people having thoughts of, oh God, please don't jump in front of this train.
Mhm.
Please don't punch
Right.
my mom in the mouth.
Right.
Please don't say this thing.
Mhm. As if there was some risk that you were going to.
And then you're like, well, what's holding me back from doing that?
Right. And it's that it would be fucking insane. You never end up doing it, you know?
No, you don't, but you're
yeah.
afraid of
And
doing it.
You start to feel what it would feel like to do it.
That's it.
And it makes you feel so uncomfortable.
And you back away from the ledge, or you close your mouth tight. You hold your fist to your side when your
Yeah.
mom's handing you mac and cheese. Whatever it may be.
Dude, yeah. Or sometimes I just picture, like, I stand up from the table amongst a group of just these people who've been so nice and hospitable to me, telling them all to fuck off in a really specific way, and then just walking out
Yeah, man.
and continuing to live my life.
Everybody's got this, I think, unless it's just the three of us, which would be really surprising. This is one I would love to hear from people. What are the craziest scenarios that you've imagined in your head that you fear doing, even though you would never do it, but that popped into your head at a weird moment? For me, it's definitely saying someone else's name during sex.
I think that's probably a common one too.
Well, I think it's also that, like, you've seen it happen on TV shows or movies, so
Right.
it puts it in your head. But
It's a tough one to pedal back from too.
I have one. I think this is really the only one I have. Whenever I'm driving, specifically with people, I always think, like, what if I just went and, like, drove off?
Oh yeah,
Totally.
I think of that all the
I
time.
Think about
always
that.
have that.
That one all the time.
Dude, when I'm having that sex one,
Mhm.
I then start reciting my girlfriend's name in my head. I'm like, it's this, blah, blah, blah.
That is
And I spell it
hilarious.
out. I'm like, this is how it's pronounced. Even if you mispronounced it, you'd probably be fine. But make sure you get the syllables.
Dude, that's hilarious. All
Yeah.
of a sudden, you're just repeating her name out loud. She's
Yeah.
like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
like a language test.
yeah.
Not very sexy. What are you doing? Yeah, that is who I am.
Use it in a sentence. Dude,
Language of origin. Yeah.
hilarious.
How did we start on that? Where did that come from?
Me telling my girlfriend I don't
So
like
what
her
did
name.
what came of that? How'd you dig yourself out of that hole?
I was like, I have literally no idea what just happened. I don't mean that. I don't know why I said that. I have absolutely, like, my brain just, like, completely malfunctioned. I like her. I love her name. I think she has a
did
lovely
she buy
name.
it? Did you convince
Yeah,
her?
of course she did. Because it was ridiculous. But it was referred to a few times throughout the day. And, like, I was sort of in this unfortunate doghouse where, like, she wasn't mad at me, but, like, I, like, said something really mean to her.
Yeah, it's almost worse.
You know what I mean? So I feel terrible. But dude, like, I love her name. I love the spelling of her name. Like, I've always really liked her name. And
She
that
one L
name-
or two L's?
one L. It's a
Yeah.
great name.
Good name.
And
Classic
I
American
mean it.
name.
I truly mean how much I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just fucking, it was fucked up. I can't believe I did that.
You got a name for your kid?
Do I?
Have you got names in your mind?
We
for
have
what
some.
you've named your kid?
We do.
You guys talk about this?
We do talk about it. I almost don't feel like I can even say them because it'll, like, jinx it or something.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Do you?
No. We every once in a while we throw them out there, but we either she vetoes my ideas or I'm like, I don't like that much.
Yeah. I find myself, I veto, but I'm not really coming up with anything either, which is the most annoying person to be.
Yeah.
But dude, also, we don't actually address it in the names for our kids. We very specifically make sure to say, this is the name that I like.
Oh.
This would be a cute name for a kid, not for our kid.
Uh-huh.
And we actually pretty much never, we try not to talk about that.
What about names for dogs? You guys aren't thinking of getting animals.
We're not thinking of getting animals because honestly, she's too
Allergies.
allergic, but
Yeah.
we are also sort of aligned on the fact that it's just, like, too much work for us.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I mean, I know you used to feel that way.
Well, Kojai's
I
been
know you
away
love your
for
dog.
a couple weeks, and I got to tell you, there's definitely a weight lifted. There's a freedom to the day.
Right.
You don't have to orient yourself around his needs,
Right.
needing to go out for a walk, needing to be fed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. The flip side is that the house feels colder.
Yeah.
He brings so much warmth.
He's great, dude.
And the flip side of that is that my girlfriend is more affectionate towards me because typically she lavishes so much affection upon the dog. Now she's directing that at me, which I like.
Got it.
I like being hugged. I like that she comes in and canoodles with me.
Dude, that's funny.
And then now I blame the dog for soaking up all that, being such a black hole of her affection.
Well, dude, hopefully this tale doesn't end the same way it did in my old neighborhood in Italy, where the guy fucking got jealous of the dog and blanked the dog in half. We won't even go there.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's fucked up.
What is the verb there? Sawed?
Yes.
Sawed?
Yes.
With a chainsaw?
Yes.
What the fuck? Have we talked about this?
Yeah, we talked about it on an old episode.
Oh.
Dude, fucked
God.
up. Really fucked. But the guy was jealous, came home wasted, and then...
Oh, I remember that. That was the detail I needed.
Dude, I gotta be honest, that guy definitely needed some Feels CBD in his life. Really badly.
Yeah, he did.
He really badly needed it.
Oh my God.
I mean, dude, I don't know what your experience with CBD has been like, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a very low maintenance way to kind of take it easy. And it's almost like a little treat at the end of the night. Couple drops under the tongue.
Yeah.
And you're just cruising. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Relaxed, not stressed, not worried. Allows me to relax and allows me to kind of like recharge, because a lot of the times if I go to bed anxious, I don't sleep well and I wake up anxious and I just never feel rested.
CBD is something that seems to just set everything right.
Yeah.
It removes the bad things like pain, anxiety, stress, makes you tired and calm if that's what you're going for, but it can also focus you.
Totally.
And that all comes down to kind of the dosage, right?
Yeah, I think so. And which is why Feels is great. By the way, if you sign up for a membership now and go to feels.com/hoops, you're going to get 50% off of your first order when you become a member. But one of the great things about having a membership is that they have a concierge service, I guess you call it. It's sort of like a hotline, and you can call them and sort of talk to them about any of your CBD needs, whether it's dosage or the time of day you're taking it, and you can kind of help with them. You can work with them to get your best personal plan off the ground. You know?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm into this. I'm excited. The branding is so good. The packaging is gorgeous. They have these flights, these starter flights that you can kind of sample and get a sense of like, you know, how much am I supposed to take? What's my dosage? And kind of play around with that to find what's right for you.
Yeah, it's feals.com/oops to get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping when you become a member.
If you've been considering CBD, this is the way to go. Feals, FEALS.com/oops.
Dude, I did something that I've never done before, and I'm wondering if you've ever done this. So I got home late. I was doing shows in Connecticut, and after the last show, I get back, and actually it wasn't after the last show. It was a Friday night. I get home and I realized I hadn't really eaten dinner, and I got home. I had a drink or two, and then I sort of woke Hillary up. And I was like, "Are you hungry?" She's like, "I kind of am." I was like, "Should we order a pizza?"
No way. You woke her up from bed?
So I didn't mean to, but like I kind of like plunked down on the edge of the bed with a cocktail.
Oh,
then-
you're a bad roommate.
Dude,
You are a savage.
I was just hoping that maybe she'd be sort of awake, and she was.
If my girlfriend did that to me, I would fucking lose it.
So, dude, in my defense, my girlfriend does do that to me. On the rare occasion
Fine.
when she comes home and I'm sleeping, it pretty much has never happened. Once or twice, she'll kind of like be affectionate, and it's kind of funny, and I'm like kind of asleep. I'm like, "Argh."
Yeah.
She's like, "Baby, whatever." So anyway, she's like, "Yeah, sure." So we order a pizza, and we order like a fucking serious pizza, dude. We get like a full Sicilian pie,
What time was this?
1:30 in the morning.
Oh, you bad boy.
Just hear me out. Half
Yeah.
cheese, half mushroom. I haven't done something like this in a long time either, right? So we order it. It starts taking a little bit, and I'm kind of like, fuck, like I might not make it for this. And I'm like, fuck it. So I end up just falling asleep. I wake up to like 17 missed calls, and
Yeah.
the pizza, they tried to deliver it, which was like a dick move on my part. Like I didn't mean to do it. And I was like, fuck. And then she kind of woke up when I woke up, and she's like, I'm still kind of hungry. And I was like, me too. So I messaged Seamless. I'm like, hey, like, sorry, we kind of fell asleep. We never got the pizza. And the guy's like, do you want us to send it again? And I was like, yeah. And then we fell asleep again.
Dude, what? What time did you wake up?
In the morning at 9 a.m. And I realized, I'm like, wow, I just spent $40 on that and I never got it. Granted, I also like was a complete menace to this poor pizzeria, which I feel bad about.
Wait, hold on. What time did you wake up the after missing the first pizza and then call the place and say, what time was that?
3 a.m.
Oh my God. So it's open all night?
I guess they deliver till 4.
Damn. So you pulled a 3 a.m. reorder and then missed that. How could, all right.
Dude, and to be honest, I would pay $40 to not be allowed to order pizza at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy with the way that worked out.
I have to say that that the fact that you missed the first order and then woke up, you should have known yourself better. That there was no chance that the 3 a.m. order was gonna happen.
I know. And like at that point, I had like, I don't know. I was committed to getting the pizza. I at least was like, all right, I'll eat this tomorrow. I just spent $40 on pizza. I need to get the pizza.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever fallen asleep before the order arrived?
I have. And then I woke up when it came, and out of guilt, I didn't even want it anymore. I just wanted to sleep. But you eat a slice or something just to say, I didn't waste all this money. Dude, it's the sunk cost fallacy. God damn it.
I know.
You shouldn't eat something just because you paid for it.
I know.
You've already lost the money. It's not coming back
Econ 101, dude.
into your stomach or something, you know?
I know.
Buddy, that's a crazy story. I have to say, you've been looking very trim lately.
Thanks, dude.
So I'm glad you didn't eat that pizza.
I am too.
Because you look great.
Thanks.
Are you sticking with the, keeping the weight off? What's your
dude,
situation like?
It's funny because, I was obviously concerned about trying to sort of, quote, get in shape. And it's amazing how hard I was trying. And then I didn't. And then literally over the past few weeks, I haven't done anything different except get sick a couple times. And, and it sort of reset my stomach in a way where I'm not craving things I used to want to eat because I went such long periods of time with not eating anything because I felt like shit. So I'm eating a little bit less now, and I'm not really eating meat that much. And those are kind of two slimming things, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the portions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is why smoking a shit ton of weed before used to fuck up any sort of dietary ambitions that I had, because you get really stoned, you eat a crazy amount, and now your stomach is used to eating that much.
That's right.
That happens to me at least. So just not eating as much is just pretty much how you do it, obviously. You know what I mean? I haven't even been exercising. So
yeah,
I can't really take credit for it.
When was the last time you exercised?
Before I went to Ecuador.
Oof.
I haven't gone to the gym since before I went to Ecuador.
You got to get back on that
I'm going to.
horse a little.
This week I'm going to start exercising again.
Doesn't your body feel stagnant?
No, so dude, I haven't had an opportunity to work out because I was in Ecuador. Obviously, I'm not working out in Ecuador. I get back and I immediately got really fucking sick.
Yeah.
So I had we went to Raina's party. I didn't work out that next day, whatever. Then I had to go to Connecticut to visit my parents.
Yeah.
And then when I get back, I'm sick for the entire week.
Damn,
and now
bro.
this next week is the following week. So,
right.
I am very much looking forward to getting back in the saddle,
Good.
as they say.
So we need you to get ripped.
Dude, so they race fucking cars outside of my apartment.
What?
So apparently outside of where we live, for some reason, it's a popular street for people to race fancy sports cars. So Lamborghinis and shit are racing down my street. Yes.
Wow.
I had no idea that was a thing.
That sounds really
and dude,
dangerous.
I know. And it's that thing where they're and it's so loud, and then you hear the pop.
Yeah.
The ramp.
Yeah.
Pow, pow. It sounds like miniature explosions. And dude, I've started to have this fantasy that I'm perched at the top of my building with a sniper rifle.
Uh-huh.
And that any time I hear the pop, I shoot a bullet and I follow the bullet. Remember that scene in Kill Bill with the sniper animated?
Yeah.
And it goes through the windshield and hits the guy right between the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I wish death upon all these people racing. I mean that. I wish prison or death to them. They're fucking morons.
God.
They are a complete nuisance to the community. You're a fucking loser. Stop racing cars. I wish you death.
I've never understood the allure of street racing, drag racing. Cars for me,
terrible.
it's all about maximizing as much safety as I possibly can.
Absolutely. There's no thrill for me for trying to die.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking stupid.
Right.
Dude, like, what's the point?
I'd rather go to a skate park with some rollerblades on.
Right. Go on a
You-
roller coaster.
You really need that need for speed.
How boring is your life? You have a need for speed.
You turkey.
Dude, if you're not, I understand if you're in high school, maybe, and you have pent up aggression for some reason. But like, once you're an adult and you're in control of your life, stop fucking driving fast, dude. It's
That's
not cool.
it.
You're a moron.
That's it.
Is that fair?
I think that's totally fair. Totally spot on. Yeah.
So, dude, Francis, obviously you have a lot of moments in your life where you have fucked up and said something and people were mad at you and it was an uncomfortable situation. I wonder, like, when you think back on those moments, how do you feel? Do you like experience it again when you think about it? Like any more, like something like that? Or if you embarrassed yourself or like whatever?
What do you mean?
Like, when you think back on those moments, are you like, oh my God, I don't even want to think about this? Or do you just kind of like, don't care?
Yeah, I have definite moments where I can't really revisit the scene in my head.
It's hard, dude. And if, like, I really struggle with some things like that.
Mhm.
And they might be the most minor things. Like, I used to like want to be a DJ. You know this? Did I ever talk about
I
this?
think you've talked about
Maybe
this.
very briefly, but dude, like I DJ'd a couple of gigs and I ended up getting hired to like do this big party. It was like, I don't know if it was New Year. It wasn't New. Maybe it was Halloween. I forget what the party. It was a big party. It was
Mhm.
this huge thing. There was like an upstairs room, downstairs room. It's this place on Greenwich Ave that is now something different. But it was like a really cool spot. And I was so excited. And like I had this like DJ apparatus thing that I brought with me. And I remember bringing it and them like being like, dude, what the fuck is that?
Mm.
And I was like, oh, you know, it's like, they're like, we just use like the CDJ thing here. Like, don't worry, just bring your computer. And I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
And dude, I like sort of didn't know how to use the like normal setup that all the normal DJs use. So like that was already an issue. But then something happened where like the music just kept cutting out. And like a lot of my friends were at this thing too. And like the look that they gave me when like the music cut out, but then like I just very quickly and panikedly put on like a song that I had already played. And everyone was kind of like, oh dude, like I can even imagine the look on your face would be if that ever was happening. Like, it's a thing that I think back on and I'm so fucking embarrassed about it.
Well, there's nothing worse than being at a party where there's a control battle for the music, and then whoever actually has, people are dipping in and unplugging a thing and putting their music
No,
on
that's
because they
terrible
think
for
it's
sure.
better, and there's this battle for supremacy over the playlist. And then the worst thing is that often leads to people playing one song for like 45 seconds
And switching.
and then switching, and you're like, that it ruins the party, it jolts it.
Yeah.
There's
And-
no
yeah.
continuity.
It's terrible. And dude, no, I was the DJ. I wasn't the guy who was plugged into the aux
Oh, you
cord.
were almost paid.
I was paid.
Okay.
I was the DJ. Like imagine if you went to fucking a club and
Yeah.
that was the setup.
Right.
And I was fucking up.
right.
And the guy who was like running the party was this like Italian guy who's named James, which is like kind of a random name for an Italian guy.
Yeah.
But he was very like sort of like an alpha male type and like, one of these like businessy kind of guys, but like at any moment, he could like turn on you and like,
right.
and he sort of was like so fucking stressed and like disappointed in me. And it was almost like I never like lived that. I almost like could never hang out with that guy again because I was too ashamed.
Mm.
Dude, isn't that bad? Dude, and this guy always used to say, he goes, there are only four places I go out in the city. And then he would list them, and it became this joke amongst our friends. He'd be like, Provocateur, the Jane,
Yeah.
Boom Boom,
Yeah.
and Don Hill.
What's the last one?
Do you remember Don Hills? Did you ever go there?
No.
It was this place. It's not there anymore. It was like a cool spot. But dude, it's just funny. Like, dude, it was so fucking embarrassing. I don't know. Humiliating. Well, dude, it's this week in particular is a very hot week in New York City and around the country.
It's getting bad.
Yeah. So we when we're recording this right now, I mean, there are parts of the sort of Northwest that are in like 100, it's like 115 degrees in Oregon. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And here in particular, I mean, it's nearing 100, which in New York City, a New York City at 100 is pretty fucking bad.
It's so the worst ever.
Yeah. It's like the worst kind of 100 you can imagine.
There's nothing you can do. You don't go outside.
Like a desert 100 isn't that bad compared to this 100.
I would rather be indoors where there's a wintry mix coming down.
Yeah, no, totally.
Sleet, hail, snow, any of the above.
You would take wintry mix over this?
And the day ends at 3:30 p.m. and it's dark out and you're thinking, my God, this is the middle. Winter's never ending. I would take that as prohibitive weather over 100 degrees outside.
I don't know if I would, but I'm impressed by that. That's how much you hate it.
I'd rather you're beholden to the only safe place is the air conditioning.
It's the only safe place.
That's it.
Totally. And honestly, dude, I did a lot of comedy last week. It kind of felt like pre-pandemic slate of comedy. So I'm really happy that I have a lighter load this week with how fucking hot it is.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But dude, I'll tell you what, man, when it gets hot, there's nothing better than tossing back your favorite spiked seltzer, man.
Oh.
And that's why, shout out to our friends over at Stewart Spiked Seltzer.
That's our one. That's the stuff, man. That's the stuff we like.
Dude, it's amazing. It just reminds you of your childhood. You know what I mean? It's like they took the formula for the most delicious childhood beverage that we could have ever drank, which of course was the Stewart's orange cream soda or the Stewart's
I like
root
the
beer.
root beer. I was a root beer guy.
Dude, the Stewart's black cherry too. I remember when I found out that black cherry soda existed, I first tasted it through the fucking Stewart's glass bottle, iconic
nectar
bottle.
of the gods.
The nectar of the goddamn gods.
It's a high class beverage, that's for sure.
Yeah, the spiked seltzer, I mean, it just really pays homage to that in a much more adult friendly way.
You say homage, I say homage, but you know what? Tomato, we both like Stewart Spiked Seltzer. They carry the legend forward, paying homage to classic Americana and nostalgia while adding a modern twist and adapting it to today's market. We love the Stewart Spiked Seltzer.
It's delicious.
It's available in New York and New Jersey, and also Connecticut, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Colorado.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if you knew this, but it's funny because I always assumed that the OG Stewart's was an old thing, but I didn't realize the specifics until we started working with them. And apparently it was originally founded in 1924. Dude.
Oh, wow.
1924 in Mansfield, Ohio, as a root beer stand by the school teacher, Frank Stewart.
Wow, good for Frank.
I know.
And I bet they sold it at soda shops, SHOPPE. Those old 1950s places where you'd have 2 straws and a milkshake and sip them with your crush who wore your varsity sweater and your pin.
So totally. So this is a way to kind of enjoy a modern sort of adaptation of your favorite Stewart's flavors, but in a spiked seltzer. And it's light. It doesn't, it's sparkling, refreshing, light, guilt-free, no alcoholic aftertaste. It's a wonderful experience. We highly recommend going out and getting some Stewart Spiked Seltzer as soon as you can. So, dude, we have a couple funny emails here.
Please.
If you have any interest.
Lay them on me.
Hey, guys, I'm a big fan of the show and really look forward to the new episodes each week.
I'm really glad, by the way, that you always read that part of it. Just to make sure people know that there are fans of this show.
So sometimes, dude, it's funny you say that. I consider not reading that part, but I'm also kind of like, if I start cutting around too much, it's going to be
It gets
it's going to
confusing.
get messy.
Can't jump past the good stuff.
This guy said, I think you guys should do another high episode. If you guys feel that way, let us know if you want us to do more high episodes. I don't know if we can handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, I went on an interesting Tinder date last night, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. I just moved to Boston, and this was my first real weekend here, so I decided to tag along with my roommate and his girlfriend for dinner. I also spontaneously decided to ask this match on Tinder if she would want to come. I wasn't expecting her to say yes, but she immediately agreed. So we all Ubered to this nice Mexican restaurant, and honestly, dinner went absolutely amazing. She's easy to talk to, interesting, and very flirtatious with me. Being in my early 20s with a few margaritas in my system, I'm already thinking to myself that I'm 100% going to get lucky. So dinner goes great, and we all agree to go to one more bar down the street. This girl is attached to my hip the whole walk there and even tells me how cute she thinks I am. We all order drinks at this new bar, and then my date goes right to the bathroom and doesn't return for a solid 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh boy.
When she comes back, she sits down for maybe 30 seconds, looks me in the eyes, and while rubbing my arm says, "I'll be right back." She takes her purse and walks out the door. I texted her after 10 minutes asking if she was okay, and my number was already blocked. What do you think?
Oh my God.
My roommate, his girlfriend, and I were all shocked, and I was honestly kind of upset. What do you guys think? Does this warrant some sort of petty revenge?
Holy smokes.
This really threw me for a loop. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. All right. So my guess is number one, he probably misread how into him she was.
Okay.
And maybe he said something without being aware of it that really offended her or
Interesting.
turned her off.
Interesting. And
Because-
granted, he did say, a few margaritas in the system, maybe his guard's down.
Yeah, I think her going to the bathroom is her going in there to like call a friend.
Interesting.
And say, "Can you believe what just happened? What do I do?" And then the friend says, "Get out of there. You don't owe this guy anything."
Interesting.
And she comes back, says like, "I'll be back, sorry, bye."
Block number. So, okay, interesting. I actually didn't even think of that. I guess, yeah, that's a good point.
What's your take?
So he seems pretty self-aware to me to a degree. Like I'd be surprised if a girl was into him, if he thought a girl was into him who wasn't, given to the email. Maybe not, but
Men are stupid.
true. And what you just said anyway also negates that, because he might have said something after things were going well
Right.
and it might have offended her. That seems like a kind of a likely outcome. Here is what I'm thinking maybe happened. Is there a chance that she like shit herself or something
Oh.
and was embarrassed, like went to the bathroom, threw out her underwear, was trying to clean it up,
I hadn't even thought of that.
sat back down at the table, realized there was still some residual or some residue,
Diarrhea. It's diarrhea.
and then
For sure.
she left and was embarrassed and blocked him.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's no real way for her to explain that to him. I'm sure she's mortified, as anyone would be. And yeah, there's nothing to be done there.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
you just have to cut that person out of your life forever.
but I think it speaks to also like, you can't assume stuff. You can't assume that just because you shit yourself, he knows you shit yourself.
Right.
He might not know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. And listen, that's a long shot here. Like, Francis, your theory is probably more correct.
Uh-huh.
But dude, you never know. With like long bathroom stints, you kind of just never know what the fuck's happening.
Right. Right.
Another guy emailed us something because we had told that story about the guy who passed out at work. This guy had messaged us that he went on a double date and they went to the second bar, and at the second bar, he just passed out in the stall. And like,
Really?
yeah. And the date was going so well. But the girl actually waited.
How does that happen?
Dude, I don't know. Can you have you ever done that? Like, has a date ever been going really well for you and then
I fell asleep in the
or
middle of it?
something like that?
No, probably not.
I mean, I've told this story before, so I'm not going to tell it again. But
I haven't, by the way, I haven't been on that many first dates.
really
No,
interesting.
in my life.
That's surprising to me because you've just always been wifed up usually.
I've been wifed up for a lot of my like dating life.
Mhm.
And then if even if I wasn't in a relationship, I'd meet someone and then I would hang out with them for a while.
Right.
And
right,
I wouldn't go on really other dates.
Right.
This
Right.
idea of dating in New York City, of going on multiple, let's put it this way. I don't know that I've ever in my life gone on 2 first dates in the same week.
Right. Yeah. I've always found the sort of juggling different people to be,
Nuts.
it's not nice. And it's just also like stressful. And I know you say, you don't owe anybody anything, but like to be simultaneously dating multiple people has always been too much for me to handle.
God, it's a nightmare, dude.
But I've had a series of like first dates and that was it many times.
Just one date.
But like you said, maybe not 2 in the same week, rarely at least, but like go out with somebody once, realize that maybe it's not going to go anywhere and then kind of don't bother after that.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, the only thing that I can think of that kind of is similar to this is a girl stayed at, I had an amazing date with a girl who was somebody I had known earlier in life and not realized it. She was like a crush of mine earlier. I then met her randomly and later realized that she was the girl who worked at the sandwich store.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it was incredible. I was like, oh my God, you were that. Because I always used to talk about the girl who works at the store is so hot. I'm obsessed with her. And like, it was this joke. And then like 4 years later, end up meeting her randomly and we end up going out.
What's it about women who work among baked goods, bread, wearing an apron, flour
You're right.
in the air?
Dude,
That is so sweet.
Flower in her hair.
Yeah.
It's
Flowers everywhere.
A different take on that song.
Because I had a crush on a girl who worked at a cupcake shop. Same deal.
I think I remember that. Was she
put,
French?
You put her in a you know, a welding factory. I don't have the same crush on her.
The smell of welding.
Yeah,
dude.
if she's soldering iron, you know, I don't think I'm into her as much.
Well, dude, so this girl, we end up going on like a formal date, and the date goes incredibly. We go to an amazing dinner. We go to drinks after, and then like I wake up in the morning on the couch, and she's gone, and I go in the bathroom, and she had just puked all over the bathroom and left.
And you slept on? Why'd you sleep on the couch?
Because I must have just been waiting for her to come back from the bathroom and passed out. Because like we were gonna get frisky.
And were you at her place or your place?
Mine.
And that's why she left.
But puked all over the bathroom. I'm assuming she was intending to never talk to me again. However, I was like, LOL, oh my God, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
And did you see her again?
You owe me another date. And we ended up hanging out like a handful of times. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Also, if I ended up throwing up at a girl's apartment, I don't care if this is the first date or anything. I'm cleaning that up.
Oh yeah.
I'm cleaning up my own throw up. Are you kidding me?
Oh, I know. Dude, honestly, like she must, I don't hold it against her.
Well,
we were hammered.
This is my question now, because a while back we talked about your and Hillary's sort of comfortability with bathroom stuff.
Yeah.
Now that you've been living together, has that changed?
So it's funny you say that. I have alluded to the fact that I've had stomach issues the past couple weeks. So it has changed a bit, but still we're not using any buzzwords. So like, for example, she'll be like, she goes, I know this is uncomfortable, but explain what's happening. And I'll be like, so I haven't been able to go to the bathroom, but then sometimes I can go to the bathroom.
Dude, you're that gentle with it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We don't use a single potty word.
Dude, throw on some rubber gloves, get some galoshes, and wade into the shitstorm. What are you doing, man? Break the seal.
Dude, we have separate bathrooms. It's so pleasant not breaking the seal that we just don't need to go there.
Holy smokes, dude.
We just don't need to go there.
Oh,
We're really like in the 1 percentile of couples who cohabitate and don't talk about this
I
kind of
just
shit.
think that if you two ever have children someday, that scene is going to be too. You have not warmed yourself up to the sight
Dude,
of a delivered baby.
a child of a delivered baby.
When you're in that room, you're in for a horror show that you need to have said before that, I need to take a shit. She needs to tell you that she has to.
Have you ever said that?
Absolutely.
I need to take a shit.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom. I need to take a dump. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I've never said that to her.
You've never said that.
Mm-mm.
Huh.
But dude, I understand your point. But I think we like it. We like, it's fun. Listen, dude, we're trying to preserve as many little things as we can.
Do you think that those sorts of conversations would sort of jeopardize the sanctity of your romance?
I don't think so. But it's just we've made it this long trying to avoid talking about it. I definitely don't think it would.
Do you think that you two are pretending? Meaning that those things don't exist?
We acknowledge that they exist, but we'll never say Voldemort. We'll only say who will not be named.
Okay. Are there other bodily embarrassing things that you are comfortable about talking? Is it just
Yes. Vomiting, we're fine talking about.
what about periods?
Periods? We've always been fine about the idea of them. And,
The idea of them.
I don't want to
I'm okay with periods in theory.
no, like, if she is experiencing that time that every girl goes through. It's not a secret. I know that it's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it's the only boundary still. As far
Okay.
as bodily,
All right. Well, that's the last frontier.
bodily things are concerned.
Fine.
The Wild West.
One day, one of you is going to have violent diarrhea, and there's going to be nothing that either of you can do
So let's say this.
just to shield it.
Say that one of us already has had it at some point. Let's just assume it was me. We have been able to not talk about it, so.
All right. That's fine.
But it makes it worse for the person
I'm
experiencing
saying,
it.
yeah, I'm saying, okay, so I'm talking about a situation where the two of you are driving, you're on a road trip,
Mhm.
and it just bubbles inside your stomach, and you say, I need you to pull over right now because I have to go to the bathroom. And she does, and you race out of the car, and you're on the side of the road. You don't get to go, you can't get behind a tree. Some of it ends up in your pants. Real horror situation.
I would be like, I need you to not look in my direction until I come back to the car. I need you to promise me that you're not going to look. Please.
Do you think that would affect the way you two look at each other?
No.
You'd be able to get over it.
Yes. But dude, it's funny. Somebody told me this story that like their mom, when they were a kid, really just like had to do that. And like, can you imagine being a kid? Like you're already embarrassed of your parents, and now your mom is like squatting on the side of the highway, just letting her rip. Mom!
No.
Can you imagine?
Oh no. I mean, that's why to me that scene in Bridesmaids is just one of the most iconic
it's really
comedy
good.
scenes. It's so amazing.
It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, especially when she sort of like floats down in her wedding dress in the middle of the road and settles like a swan
Dude,
among her feathers.
I can't imagine a worse fucking situation.
Yeah.
We got another one here if you want to get
Good,
into it.
fire it up.
All right, this one's called The Brunch Bandit. Hey guys, I was having brunch with my girlfriend on the patio of a restaurant. As we were finishing our meal, a woman grabbed the purse of a fellow brunch goer and sprinted down the street into oncoming traffic.
Oh my.
The victim shrieked, "She stole my purse!" and then began chasing the thief. Mind you, the woman donned casual brunch attire, like sandals. Her friends sprung into action as well. One friend immediately dialed 911, and the other said, "I'll grab the car." People were yelling, cars were swerving. I started to hear the Ocean's 11 music in my head. It was nuts. What did I do as the situation unfolded, you ask? Well, given them writing this email, I believe the answer is clear. I simply finished the last bite of my waffle, signed the check, and left. I arrived at the conclusion that my inaction was the logical choice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had no ties to this woman, and the vandal had at least 100 yards on me by the time I became aware of the snatching. Also, what would I have done if I caught up to her? Somehow I find the image of me tackling this woman in the street very distasteful, to say the least. I'm satisfied with my decision not to give chase due to the risks involved, and have been assured that my girlfriend is in agreement as we spent the afternoon discussing the potential escalation of the situation.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I can't shake the feeling that she secretly suspects me of being a bit of a pussy for not playing the hero. What do you think?
It's a tricky one. First of all, so this is a dude.
Yes.
If he chases the woman down, is he allowed to tackle her?
I don't know. Like if she obviously stole the purse,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is he allowed?
She stole the purse. We all know it. There were witnesses. Is a man allowed to tackle a woman who stole a purse?
I don't think so.
Really?
Do you think so? If it's your girlfriend's purse, maybe. If it's just
Come on. That's
dude, I don't know. I think that there's a risk associated with doing that. Then maybe it doesn't make it worth it.
so. Then how are you supposed to subdue the woman who stole the purse? Pull out your cowboy rope and fucking throw it at her feet?
You just catch up to her. You're running aside her.
Yeah.
On the side of her.
Yeah.
Hand over the bag.
Are you supposed to corner her and then not let her out until the authorities come? Run her into some kind of refrigerator room?
Is there a way to catch her without tackling her? You have to imagine that she's going to fight you.
She's going to keep going.
You're going to have to tackle her.
Maybe. Maybe she'll realize that you're much faster than she is. And then she'll get scared. Now you're facing each other. That's when you worry she might pull out a knife.
Yeah. I mean, one thing you could hope is that she realized that her goose is cooked and she just drops the purse.
That is the hope. That's the hope. And maybe you say, drop the purse right now. We can both go our separate ways, but pretend like this never happened.
Right. That is what you could do. I have a similar story, actually. This is funny. I was in New Orleans and I'm with my buddy Benny, who we've talked about him a little on the past podcast. He's an old comedy pal. And I actually am going to like hook up with a girl.
Oh.
So Benny's like, dude, can I hang on to your camera? Because this is like before phone cameras.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to like keep taking pictures and videos of the night. And I was like, dude, there's so much good footage on this camera. Do not lose my camera.
Right.
I will fucking kill you. Okay. I'll give it to you, but literally losing it is not an option.
Okay.
He goes, okay. And he's actually, so there was a group of us. It was this comedy festival. And he's filming stuff. So what ends up happening is he's filming like outside of a strip club, just like filming the street, not filming inside the strip club.
Oh.
And the bouncer of the strip club walks out of the strip club, grabs the camera out of his hand, and just hands it to these two fucking guys who are just hanging around, and they sprint off with the camera.
Oh.
Almost like he was somehow in cahoots with these street guys.
So he wasn't taking the camera because he was mad that Benny was somehow photographing things in and around the strip club.
I think he was. And then for some reason decided to handle it by giving it away to the kind of like sketchy guys who were hanging out. So then these guys sprint off. And Benny realizes losing this camera is not an option.
Yeah.
So he's with, Ashley Barnhill, the comedian?
Yeah.
He's with her. So he and Ashley begin chasing these guys down.
Whoa.
So Benny starts saying stuff like, I'm from New York, like, which I don't understand how that is relevant information. Come on, guys, I'm from New York. Like, you can't. I'm like, dude, he's really reaching for it. So these guys then hand the camera off to another guy. The other guy's running. They then hand it off to another guy.
Were they in a bazaar?
Dude, no, they're in the French Quarter.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Like a covered market?
Yes, no, they wasn't.
Like in Aladdin?
Right. It might as well have been. Like it was New Orleans, like wild night. They keep chasing these guys, and the guys end up dropping the camera by accident, and they get the camera back.
Oh my God.
And I have the video of the bouncer taking the camera out of Benny's hand.
What?
How crazy is that?
Did it stay on through the chase?
No. Once he grabbed it, that was it.
Oh,
unfortunately, because it would have been funny.
Yeah, because I've seen GoPro footage of a seagull picking up a GoPro camera. It's super cool.
And then it's just flying
it
around.
Flies around. You're like, whoa, this is what it feels like to be a bird. And then it tumbles, and they retrieved it eventually.
No way. They got it back.
So it would have been very cool to see your camera jostling around like the Blair Witch Project through the French Quarter.
I mean, if you guys are heading to New Orleans, be careful down there. It's definitely a slippery. It's a little slippery city. You can get yourself in some trouble there.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Wow.
So, dude, and this reminds me too of Doug Smith, who's a guest that we had back when we were doing that.
Yeah.
And he got involved in a situation that he didn't get involved in.
He buck 90'd himself. He got buck 90.
Buck 50.
Buck 50.
And he famously got slashed across the face, ended up becoming one of his best stand-up jokes. I think he would argue that it was all worth it. But I imagine that was a terrifying moment.
Yeah.
And you really have to wonder, when is it worth it to get involved? And honestly, dude, in that situation, it was worth it. A guy was assaulting a woman.
Yeah. That's crazy. It is really bad. I mean, look, would I run someone down for a camera? I don't know. Would I run someone down if they took my tin of Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee? Absolutely, I would. Because that coffee is so delicious that I would risk my life for it.
And dude, that is one of our favorite partners, and we have some exciting stuff coming up with them in the future. So
yeah, we sure do.
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, get yourself some Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee, guys.
It's the best.
I've been drinking the Huehue Tenanga from Guatemala. Probably not even close to saying that correctly. Absolutely delicious. I made myself a nice batch of cold brew using that, and now I'm kind of back on the espresso drinks again. Just mixing it around, trying different things. I think they're about to be back in stock. They may be back in stock on the peanut butter.
Yes.
Which is pure
decadence.
Gold.
So fucking good.
So get yourself some Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee. Join their Coffee of the Month Club, their subscription, because they will select awesome coffees for you. Go to brooklynroasting.com, promo code OOPSBEANS, and you'll get 5% off your first order. Go there now.
Good stuff.
Guys, this next email that we're going to cover is very sexual and graphic in nature. It was submitted from a listener. It's amazing, but it's a little it's very R-rated. So it's a bit of a departure from our typical family-friendly / PG-13 content that we have here on the pod. So if you're listening to this episode on a stereo in front of your children, now would be the time to put headphones on, potentially. All right. Enjoy, and don't say we didn't warn you.
Dude, I've been saving this one for you for a bit because it's such a crazy one.
Hitch.
This is really good. This is called A Good Story for the Pod. It is a very good story.
Great.
Here's a feel-good story for you guys I thought you might enjoy.
I think we need this.
I think we do.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, my day started in Hoboken, New Jersey. My friends and I had a birthday party to go to that afternoon for one of our girlfriends in New York City. So we jump into this cab and head over, and on the way there, I don't remember how we got on the topic, but the Uber driver jumps into our convo about sex, and she brings up edging.
Oh, gosh.
If you are not familiar with this, please go ahead and look it up. What the fuck is edging?
Edging is when I think it's like the most minimal stimulation possible of the man
Okay.
that somehow still results in him having an orgasm.
Okay. But it sounds like it can be done for here. I just Googled it to make sure that we get this right. Because it sounds like a woman can do it too.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But edging, also called surfing, peaking, teasing, and more, is the practice of stopping yourself from reaching an orgasm right when you're on the cusp.
Okay, so I was wrong.
The metaphorical edge right before you fall off the cliff into sexual climax.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Right? Same. Yeah. It's like this practice has grown trendy in sexual health discussions as a form of better orgasms, but it's actually more than a half old century treatment for premature ejaculation. The stop-start method to help people last longer before reaching orgasm.
Oh.
So it sounds like, you can kind of have a bunch of mini orgasms without having a big boy.
Okay.
And edging yourself for the rest of whatever, sidelining yourself.
I like to hold myself.
All right. So anyway,
I like to entire it.
edging, whatever. If you're not, okay. So I was familiar with it, so I kept the convo going with her, but I was surprised to find that my friends were not. The way she spoke about it, you could tell she was a pro. One thing leads to another, and this driver pulls out her vibrator and turns it on for us. This thing sounded like a jackhammer vibrating against the dash. This woman had to have been around the 55 to 60-year-old range too.
Oh my God.
She told us she had a daughter in her late 20s, like 5 or 6 years older than us at the time, potentially a grandma. And we just kept talking about sex the entire ride. This led me to believe that there was some potential here. So when we arrived, I stayed back and got her number.
The older lady?
Yes. So
Was he with his girlfriend?
No, he's with his friends, his guy friends.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
So we go about our day after this drinking. We go on about our day after drinking for hours on end. By nightfall, we arrive back in Hoboken, and I'm feeling pretty loose. So I decide to start texting her to see if this would actually happen. She answers and asks me to send pictures of my thumb. Apparently, that would help her decide if I had a good dick or not.
What?
Looking at my
Who
thumb
is this
now.
old man River?
I guess I was good enough because she says she will swing by after her last shift.
Okay.
So by now it is 1 or 2 a.m. That night, and she's having trouble finding parking in Hoboken. I come outside and get in the car and help her find a spot. There was tons of snow on the ground, and she needed assistance exiting the car because it was parked in a snowbank. She mentioned she had arthritis, so this was hard for her. I finally walk her back to my boy's place, and he lends me his bedroom for this, and we start getting down to business. She removes her bra and pulls out a small bag of unidentified white powder she had in there and tells me it's speed and offers me some. I respectfully decline because I'm not even totally sure that this is, I'm not even totally sure what that is. And she says, good idea. This would keep you up for 3 days. She starts blowing me and I'm looking forward to the edge. Then she says she wants to have sex. So we do. Probably the last time I used a condom. She also says she can only do missionary because of the arthritis. So after a while of that, I'm getting close to finishing, but I want her to finish me off edging. So I tell her and she says, sure, but keep fingering me. I'm almost there. So I start fingering her and like 30 seconds later, she starts squirting all over my friend's bed.
God,
What a
this
mess.
is so graphic.
Dude, sorry.
This is a little bit of a departure from our typical podcasting.
Sorry, dude. I had never really seen a squirt happen so clearly in front of my eyes before like this, and it was kind of an alarming but cool at the same time. After that, she finally edged me, and I could put this day to an end. We hit my friend's one-hitter, and she left to go drive home. That's it. This guy's a savage, dude.
This woman sounds so old.
Dude, this is
all the
crazy.
arthritis references.
Dude, I'm really impressed by this guy because this is an awesome story.
It's a great story. It's nuts.
Dude, it's completely fucking nuts. In no way was he like this. He never said this is weird. Even there's so many unbelievable red flags throughout this entire story.
This bag of speed. What is speed? Is it meth?
I think maybe.
It's probably meth, right?
Staying up for 3 days sounds like meth to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe she uses it for doing extra shifts when she's driving around in taxi.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Dude, your 60-year-old Uber driver pulls out a bag of sex toys while you're in the car with your boys. How is his friend letting him use the bed? He goes, he let me use the bed for this. It sounds like his friend knew what was happening.
Oh no.
You couldn't pay me $1,000 to let me use my bed for that.
I wouldn't let anyone use my bed. No.
And
No.
now just you have this older woman, old woman almost,
Yeah.
squirting all over your friend's bed.
Oh God.
This is definitely a departure from our usual podcast
Yeah.
topic. This is just,
Yeah. But you know what? I'm glad we put it out there. People need to know these things. Wow, what a journey.
so, dude, at some point in your life, if you're a single guy, you've been single for so long, is there a point in your mind where this kind of stuff starts becoming interesting to you? You've had so many one-night stands in Murray Hill that you're like, I need to get out there and experience something a little bit different.
I mean, for me, it's the opposite. It's like enough of those kinds of things happen where the next day you're just disgusted with yourself.
You just want a girlfriend.
And you just think, I need someone my age that I can do boring things with. I'm ready to be boring with someone. That's what I would think.
I'm really impressed that he turned down the drugs. I mean, just this guy seems like such a wild card that it seemed like he would have just done it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think unidentified powder, if she had said coke, maybe he would have done it. But, you know, speed.
Yeah, what the fuck is, like you said, what the fuck is speed? even?
It's a term that was used for a long time.
It's like a 90s
And I
term.
know that Adderall shares a lot of the same chemical properties
Right.
as speed.
Right.
But I do think it's in general meth.
Okay. Some form of meth, right?
Yeah. Jittery upper, crazy drug.
Dude, fucking what a absolute nutcase.
What a nut.
Good for him, dude.
Unbelievable. Well, take us out of here, Julio. It's time to wrap
I
this
think it's
puppy
time to
up.
wrap her up. Guys, we love you. Oops, the podcast. I'm going to be at the DC Improv tonight through the weekend, Friday and Saturday, with Ricky Velez. Should be some fun shows. Grab some tickets if they're still available. Subscribe to Francis' Patreon. And check out some of my video series from Ecuador and South America. Checks out some of that. If you guys have any interesting stories for us, if you have any other crazy, weird sex stories, I'm sort of interested in hearing some more of those. Maybe, something that's just kind of super unusual.
Yeah.
Maybe send a few of those over. Also, just send any of your stories to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. You can message us on Instagram at oopsthepodcast. I'm at Not Julio. He's at Francis C. Ellis. I think that's about it. We love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.